G'day YouTube viewers, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about the trip that I did this morning. After last night watching a couple of YouTube videos about hacking the Ninebot Max. This one's the G30L model. There's a couple of other models there. G30, there's a G30LP and so forth. This one's the L model. It's got the 350 watt motor, which is suits perfect for people like me who are over 100 kilos. When I first got it, I used to weigh 101 kilos. Now I've actually gained weight, 107.5 kilos. I've lost a bit of performance once in a while during those inclines, but I guess there's nothing to worry about now because I've just hacked the speed on this one from 25 k's an hour to 30 kilometers an hour. And apparently these models are quite popular for doing that type of a mod. And I can tell you straight away, after today's ride, and I've noticed a really great deal of performance and torque and power during those uphills. So 5 degree, 10 degree inclines, 20 degree inclines, where I couldn't get past a certain thing, like at 25 k's an hour, I couldn't get like 13, 15 kilometers. Like that was the actual max speed that I could actually get up at a 20 degree slope, 15, 20 degree slope. Now it actually pulls hard at 20. I can actually maintain 20 kilometers an hour, and the momentum as well has been improved quite considerably with the upgrade in speed. So went from 25 k's an hour. All I did was just change the region from Australia region to America, and some of the weight's quite heavy, such as myself. It's now perfect. The weight's been set up. So 25 k's an hour. When I was doing the O'Keefe Trail, for those who don't know, runs from Country Victoria, suburb of Heathcote, all the way to Bendigo. So I've been doing a lot of the tests on that trail before. So this day was no exception. I did the same trail, but the difference is now is that since I've changed the setting from 25 k's an hour to 30 k's an hour, I've only seen the 30 k's an hour 3 times, only during the slight slope, and during the incline going up, I've seen a quite considerably much better performance. Like I said, better. It sustained just the right momentum, much better momentum, with that extra bit of torque. It does actually increase a bit of torque when you're riding on those steep slopes. So the weight's been set up now for a person that weighs more than 100 kilos. It's just perfect. I haven't lost any power when he was like he was before, when it was set at 25 k's an hour. Again, you're adding 5.5 kilos on top. I've noticed it has slowed down the more I start to gain weight. I'm at a steady 107.5 kilos, but since the hack, I've noticed that I've got that performance and torque back to where it should be, as if I was actually at 100 kilos mark. So these scooters were designed to carry heavy adults up to 120 kilos. I hope, dear God, I won't hit that mark. I like to stay below the 100. If it ever happens, it will one day. So 120 kilo capacity rider. It's designed for that. It's a 350 watt motor compared to my wife, which has an F20 Ninebot. Has a 200 watt, and for someone that's as heavy as I am, it doesn't do nothing, especially on 10-degree slopes or 15-degree slopes. It just loses power straight away. So I'm just glad that my wife weighs much less than that. She weighs less than 70 kilos. She can go past me. She can overtake me at 25 k's an hour, no problem. With my one, again, 25 k's an hour, it was really good until I gained that weight. But now I thought, because I've been watching a couple of YouTube videos, because of the hacking, I thought I'd give it a go and see if it really does perform better. And I can tell you now, it does. It does very, very well. So that exceeded my expectations now. It's where it was before, despite the change in my weight. So since I bought it, I've covered about 494.5 kilometers on the scooter. I've had it for a couple of months, 4 or 5 months maybe, roughly. I don't ride it these days as much as like I used to. Maybe once a fortnight, sometimes even once a month. Depends on who goes to shopping and back for a quick pickup. Normally my wife does that now. I normally just go to the post office, probably about 100 meters, and hospital for making medical appointments and all that, or blood tests. It's been great, no problem. But it's let me down, like I said, with the extra weight. With the inclines, it's slowed down. With the 30k an hour, I'm still yet to try. Despite that, today when I was at the O'Keefe Trail, it wasn't really a hard surface. Like during the summer times, when it's a hard surface, I was getting 15.85 kilometers range, and that's at sports mode and 100% battery. This time around, the ground was soggy, bit boggy, with a couple of wheel spins. It's like driving a four-wheel drive on soft sand. Once you hit the soft sand, it just slows you right down and you lose a bit of that. It just struggles. So on today's trip, when I did this test, it was quite boggy, quite soggy. It slowed me down quite considerably. Yeah, it's a bit of a pain in the ass. I was climbing up, there's one long stretch of road. It's probably about maybe a 5-degree inclination. I was stuck at 15 kilometers an hour when it should be 17, 18, even 20 kilometers an hour. So 13, 15, and there was a point where I actually started hitting the hard stuff, and straight away the torque increased. I got the sudden kick, the sudden surge or power, and he accelerated me to 21 kilometers an hour. So much better than what I used to before at 25k an hour setting. Now at 30 kilometers an hour, I've noticed much better performance during the inclines. You will maintain the momentum much better than it was at 25k's an hour. So I'm talking about everyone who is about the 100 kilo mark and over. Those who weigh less, would you really want to go at 30 k's an hour, I'll say no. Leave it at 25, it's plenty for you. So those who are much heavier, you feel big difference, much better. So it's like it's like riding on, like if you were weighing less than 100 kilos. So at 107.5 kilos, like I said, at 30 k's an hour setting, it's much better during those uphills. And we won't talk about the downhills because it picks up speed much quicker. As I said, I've noticed it goes up to 32 kilometers an hour downhill. The regen braking is at minimal, so I'm not doing the regen braking mid or high. I just leave it on low and just get as much distance as you can cover with the minimal regen, especially with heavy people. So this is for the heavy people that are out there. If you're under 100 kilos, you might leave it at medium. My wife leaves hers at medium, but I don't, because I've noticed that it does actually slow. You lose momentum as you're going, regardless, medium, hit up or down. So I've taken that out, set the regen braking at minimum. So I would like to try next time on the hard stuff when it's a bit dry, or maybe do a couple of laps around here on the bitumen road and see if I can get more range out of it. So today at 30k an hour setting, boggy, soggy, distance covered 10.46 kilometers. The difference between riding in the dry, I was getting 15.85 kilometers, and you do lose a bit of kilometers, bit of range, like I said, but only despite today being boggy and soggy where I was at the O'Keefe Trail. I think I could have been much better if I stayed on the hard stuff the whole time, but we'll see that next time when I'm on the road, but not now. In terms of review, 4 or 5 month review, it's been doing fine. When I first took it down here, I thought that there was a bit of an issue because it just wouldn't pick up speed at all. But again, like I said, it was just boggy, soggy. I've wheel spinned it 2 or 3 times. There was a wheel spin on the other side of O'Keefe Trail. So that could have been the issue. But other than that, on the hard stuff, no issues. Much better performance now at 30 k's an hour setting. People need to realise that you can't leave the rules at 25 k's an hour, and 200 watt motor isn't going to do jack shit for people who weighs more than 100 kilos. So this one's a 350. It's sufficient enough, especially at 100. But now, because of the extra 6.5 kilos that I've added, it has lost a bit of performance going uphills, but with the settings at 30 k's an hour, it's doing much better now, much better. So I'm happy that this particular model, because it's one of those models where it's a popular model to hack the speed. For a heavy person, like I said, it's perfect. If you weigh less than 100 kilos, I don't think you want to go 30. Because again, you might lose a little bit of power. In my case, I lost about 3-4 kilometers. again because of the soggy situation at the trail. But we'll find out next time when I go on the hard stuff, and we'll do the test again at 100% charge, fully charged. I'll leave it on sports mode like I normally do, and until the battery runs out. So when I did the test before, I made it home, and when the light started flashing red on the monitor, it was 20%. You still get that strong urge of power and torque for the next 100, 200 meters roughly. Then once it starts flashing red, that's when you only got about 50 meters of range to go, and it really slows you down. Again, setting at 30 k's an hour. With the difference in 25 k's an hour, it feels like you can get a little bit more out of it, but because you've already set at 30, a little bit strange. You shouldn't use too much power. I mean, the 25k an hour setting to 30 should just give you that extra bit of power to get past the 25 k's an hour, but it shouldn't by right waste more power while you're actually getting there. But I've noticed that by setting the speed, as I said, I have actually noticed an improvement in momentum, torque, even on level and a little bit of a slope, where it actually maintains that momentum than before when I was set at 25. So it looks like it does actually waste a little bit of extra power when you're setting at 30 k's an hour. So as I said, it's much better now. Being on the heavy side, it's like riding as if I was back to 100 kilos. But I wouldn't want to change it. I know people out there will say it's illegal now. You need a motorbike license. But I can tell you now that if you're heavy, you know, politicians out there and rule makers should really think about people who are heavy. You want to ride a scooter, a 200 watt motor isn't going to do jack shit. Okay, that's number one. All right, so there are people out there that they're not always going to be thin or slim. They're quite heavy. They need something that can do the job. For heavy adults, 350 watt motor, it's great. 200 watt motor, it's not going to do nothing for you. So get the 350 watt. If you want to go more, get a more powerful motor. Once again, when it comes to road rules, stick to the speed limits. If they say 25 k's an hour, ride at 25 k's an hour. Okay, it's as simple as that. But if you want to go on those nice steep hills, leave it at 30 k's an hour on the hack speed, because unless you're not going to lose any of that momentum. If you go back to 25 k's an hour, you will lose momentum, you will lose speed. So you got to think about that, and those who are doing the laws, they should really think about people who are quite heavy, the adults, that it's fine to buy a scooter that's over 200 watts. Because like I said, 200 watts doesn't do nothing to me. And my wife has a 200 watt motor, 10 degree, 5 degree, 10 degree inclinations, nothing. A mobility scooter will do much better than a scooter. I can tell you that now. So 350 watt motor, it's been great. Like I said, so far nothing's gone wrong. I've had two maybe hiccups, like the power just switched itself off, but it went back on. I've upgraded the there was an update, like a firmware update, but it comes in 2 firmware updates. The first one I've updated, but the second one where it says firmware update, I did not update. A lot of people say do not update the firmware because you might create problems. That's probably on the second one, but on the first one it was fine. When I'm charging the scooter, the charge then does not display, the screen does not display the charging process and the percentage on the screen anymore after you update it. You will find it on your phone app, on your Segway Ninebot phone app. It will show there, but it's not going to show on your screen anymore. So it's charging the same amount of hours, 5.5, 6 hours, from 0 to 100. And it's worked well. Everything's just worked well. So, got nothing else more to say than that. Just stay tuned until I do my next episode, where I'll be riding around the hard roads, hard stuff, hard terrain, and we'll see the difference in performance. Then maybe we'll get more range out of it instead of 10.46 kilometers. So I hope you enjoy what you see here today. The information that you need, especially those people who are heavier. The number 1 scooter for heavy adults is the Ninebot Max. Don't be shy to go higher. If there was a stronger motor, get yourself a higher motor. A motor that's a little bit more stronger. Don't go anywhere below the 350 watts, because like I said, 200 watts, you're going to waste money. And you might as well just give it to someone else who weighs less than 100 kilos in weight. So that's all I've got to say to today. I hope you see what you like today. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe for our next episode. And we'll see you then. So bye from me from country Victoria in the suburb of Heathcote. Great town to live in. Great friends, great people around here. Come and visit us one day, especially if you're watching this in Melbourne, Victoria. Bye for now. Cheers.